All right, guys, so we've got some good news. I mean, there's a lot of bad news today, but at the same time, there's some happy stuff. Some of it's inconsequential. I love Rory won the Grand Slam, won the Masters. Really fucking happy for him. He's one of the few decent people in the world of golf. You remember there was the big split between the LIV golf players, which is the Saudi Arabia blood money funded tour, and the PGA guys. He stayed loyal to the PGA, right? So I was happy about that. I'm also ecstatic about Bernie and AOC. They did a rally in LA. They did a rally in Salt Lake City. And they're putting up rock star numbers, dog. They say the rally in LA was their biggest ever, even bigger than the Denver one, which was like preposterous. The rally in Salt Lake City packed a full fucking stadium, and then there was an overflow of 15,000 people. So something is bubbling. Something is changing in this country. People are done with the far-right fascist robber baron coup that we're currently witnessing. So, in this moment, as I always tell you, you don't get to pick your leaders. Leaders emerge, right? They're the ones who work the hardest. They're the ones who have the right message. They're the ones who say, I will take the burden of this moment and put it on my shoulders, and now everybody else follow me. And so we're seeing Bernie lead. We're seeing AOC lead. But we also have Tim Walz is still out there doing a hell of a fucking job. And one of the benefits of Tim Walz is that he makes the right-wingers lose their fucking minds and melt down. And he also makes them lie through their teeth. Like the whole tampon Tim bullshit story. Total lie. But they're running with it. The whole stolen valor shit. Total fucking lie. He earned a higher rank, but like never filled out the paperwork. Like he technically achieved the higher rank, but he didn't fill out the paperwork, and he left the military soon thereafter. And so when he says, I reached this rank, they go, you're lying. And it's like, he's not actually lying. All he had to do was fill out some fucking forms, and he attained that rank. But they act like, it's a total fucking lie. Meanwhile, they support Trump, who told over 30,000 lies in his first term alone. So he makes them melt down. And that is a benefit in today's day and age. In this social media age, you want your political opponents to fucking melt down and shriek and whine and bitch and moan, because that means more attention for you, and that means rallying the troops on your side more. So we have another great example of this here. So Tim Walz was doing an event in Minnesota. This is for veterans benefits. And a lot of MAGA accounts on Twitter clip-chimped this, so they cut out the part that they wanted to show, right, and said, oh, Tim Walz getting booed and heckled. Look how unpopular he is, bro. But they're not showing the full clip. So the right-wingers took something out of context and were, oh, Tim Walz so unpopular and stupid. But when you look at the full context, bro, he torched these dudes. So here, let's break it down. Here he is, veterans event. They're talking about fully funding veterans benefits. You got a bunch of, honestly, what I think, paid right-wing protesters here, right? And watch how masterfully he handles this.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Well, welcome to the Capitol. It's great that you're, sir, you're welcome to come. Let me finish. Let me finish and vote.
Hey, sir, he doesn't have fucking votes, sir. Shut your fucking mouth.
Oh, hey, there's some passion in the building, which is a good thing. Look, we got an opportunity here. We've got an opportunity to continue something that this group, and I'm going to give the credit to it, the Commander's Task Force of the organizations came to this Capitol, and with this administration, we said, before we decide how we're going to do budgets, in good years and bad years, we are going to do veterans issues first. We're going to remove them from the political discussion, and we will not balance budgets or pit veterans against children, transportation, and seniors, and we will fund them according to the needs. That has happened 6 years in a row. This collective work, bipartisanly, nearly unanimously, has put historic amounts of money into veterans issues. We are going to become the fifth state and the largest state to eliminate veterans homelessness in this state. We have opened more veterans homes and veterans cemeteries than any other state in the union. And when I served as the ranking member, we put in federally more money than had ever been put into the VA system. And when I sat on that committee and we got the federal money for these homes, I cautioned every one of you and everyone in here, if you build these veterans homes, You must fund them every single year to the needs that are there. You have 3 budgets out there. And when House members stand here, they do not fund it to the need that's there. We're going to have a debate, but I've made it clear. I will compromise with you on the budget. I will not compromise in the space of the veterans issues. We are going to fund them to where they need to be. And those of us who stand here, much of the veterans budget is funded by the federal government. Much of the benefits we get are federal employees, veterans themselves. 83,000 of them are going to be laid off and fired. Well, some of you voted for it. So we need to come up here and say, that's not what I voted for. That's the same thing here. I don't give a damn what your politics are across the board, but how the hell we got into an issue where we weren't unified about taking care of our veterans. And for 6 years in a row as governor, we passed nearly unanimous budgets of historic proportion to care for our veterans. That's because you walked in this building, you checked the partisanship at the door, and you said you don't get to stand here and talk about veterans and go back into the back rooms and cut the money from them. You don't get to stand here and say you support the veterans and underfund what they need. You don't get to sit here and pretend like you're taking care of them when at the end of the day, are you taking care of them and paying the benefits they earn? Are you taking care of them and building those homes and letting them live in dignity? Are you putting in a veteran cemetery that needs to be cared for from now till the end of time and making it like they are in Minnesota, ranked the best in the country? That didn't happen. That didn't happen without this. What changed here is veterans got together, the Commander's Task Force got together, you hired Trent Dilf, who kicks ass on these things, and bring him up here. And you put people in leadership up here who, just like I did in Congress, work side by side with my Republican colleagues to deliver on this. So if you want to fight social issues, if you want to fight issues on transportation or who the hell uses a bathroom, go fight them. But if you want to fight for veterans, come in here, get behind the right budget, and pass it. That's what we need to do. You earned it. They earned it. We have a responsibility to deliver it. We've done it 6 years in a row. I don't know why we wouldn't do it this year. So you need to demand, before we balance this budget, pass the Veterans Omnibus, get it done, then you can go home unless you want to come back and fight on the other issues. Thank you all. Stand firm on this issue. Let's get it done.
That was fucking glorious. This is such a telling story because it really exposes the right. I think these were paid protesters who were there, but let's assume for a second they weren't. Look at how their concern has nothing to do with policy. Their protest has nothing to do with policy. Here's Tim Walz taking the most uncontroversial position of all time. Hey, we need to look after our veterans. That's what we need to do. Hey, we need to make sure that they are fully funded. They get the health care that they need. They're talking about building a new veteran cemetery and getting that cared for, making sure that they're made whole financially. That's what he's talking about. And there's protesters in there over, stolen valor, stolen valor. As we already explained, that is completely and utterly untrue. It's completely bogus. It's a lie from the right. But you're there to protest as the guy. The whole point of this event is we are going to fully fund our veterans and take care of our veterans. And you're there to protest that guy? Which means what? Functionally, effectively, what position are you taking? You're taking the position of, fuck the veterans. Fuck them. We shouldn't care for them. We shouldn't fully fund them. We shouldn't look after their health care. And I love when he brings up the federal government is firing 83,000 at the VA. And he's like, some of you voted for it. Because there's a lot of people in the room holding their, protest signs that are there to protest Tim Walz. So this story right here shows you how unserious and detached from policy the right is. I think they're paid to be there, number one. But number two, even if they're not, they're just showing up to what? Say, I don't like Tim Walz. I don't like this guy who's doing an event to make sure veterans are fully cared for. Fuck him. Okay, well then admit it. You're on the side of, fuck the veterans. Let's not take care of them. Obviously, the only people who should be there are ones who are in favor of taking care of the veterans. So this is the modern day right. Even when you give them, hey, here's a thing that will objectively help everybody in this country, including your ass, right? Think about it in terms of we're going to raise the minimum wage or the PRO Act or higher taxes on the rich or protecting Social Security. And the right is there to protest it. And it's like the second the policy you want gets implemented, you're going to be like, oh, fuck, I liked it better before. And so it just shows you how none of these people are serious. And that's always been my issue with Rogan and the bro podcast sphere and their fucking totally irrational hatred of Tim Walz, is that They believe fake stories. Oh, stolen valor. Oh, tampon Tim put tampons in the boys' bathroom. And then meanwhile, none of them can tell you a single fucking thing this man actually did. They can't bring up that he did universal free school breakfast for kids, universal free school lunch for kids, that he legalized weed, which is something Rogan says he really supports and believes in, that he did 12 weeks paid family leave and 12 weeks paid sick leave, and he did universal background checks for guns, and he did $2.2 billion more for K-12 school, and when he was in Congress, he voted against outsourcing deals. And so, but none of them care about policy. They don't talk about policy. None of it has anything to do with policy. They're either paid protesters or they're whipped up into a frenzy by Fox News to irrationally hate the guy who's trying to make their fucking lives better. But I'm not done yet. Here he is in Ohio. And this, guys, this is the mindset in 2025 and moving forward from now until forever. This is the mindset. You do not gotta hand it to any bad faith critics or liars. Watch this.
I know I'm doing something right when the Fox News crowd is all just bitching at me like crazy. Like, I'm loving it. Or Elon Musk was crying last week. Tim is being mean to me, basically, you know, like, yeah. But I think every time they do a press conference, I've been saying this, we need a shadow government of somebody out there to punch back at them, to punch back.
What you need to understand, guys, is what Tim Walz is saying here is absolutely common sense, but it's also the case that most Democrats don't do this. Most Democrats, when they hear a criticism from the right, they go, oh my God, I'm being attacked. Either let me wilt or let me try to like split the difference and explain myself better and fucking like try to like soften the people who are criticizing me and get them more on my side. That's the general move from Democrats, because they're bitches, because they're little cucks, because they have no spine. They have fucking jello spines. But Tim Walz, this is the mindset. And I was afraid that he would be the type to, when he gets criticized, so, oh, look, I'll take the criticism in good faith and I'll like work with it. No, you have to be willing to call a spade and say, this is a bad faith attack and you guys don't even believe what you're saying. You're fucking liars and you just have a fucking hate boner for me. And so now I'm going to hit you back 10 times as hard. Right? And here he is saying it. I know I'm doing something right when the right wing and Fox News are freaking out at me and coming after me. He's totally correct. And this is the fucking mindset. And this makes him a formidable candidate for the next election. This makes him a 2028 frontrunner. Just having this mindset, right? Compared to Gavin Newsom. What did greasy Gavin do? Oh, Donald Trump won the election, so now we have to have conversations with right-wingers, and I'll sit there and suck off Charlie Kirk and tell Steve Bannon he's a genius and try to split the difference. You don't get it. You are losing your base. Tim Walz is propping up the base. He's getting the support that we need and deserve on the left, right? He's actually fighting back. So he's one of very few doing it, and that's why he truly is a formidable candidate on top of his amazing policy record. And finally, let's do this one. The right, how many times has the right brought up, oh, the hands-off protest the other day that had millions of people, millions, they're actually paid protesters, paid by George Soros, there were millions of people there, bro. There were, what did these protesters get paid the equivalent of the GDP of a small country? Really? No, these are all genuinely pissed off Americans who can't believe the Constitution is being ripped to shreds and Trump is warmongering with fucking everybody and he's destroying the economy. So, the right says, be funded by George Soros. Here's what Tim Walz says.
Listening to where all you're from is great because I love this because you know that the news story on several of those stations is going to be, you were all bussed in here. What are you going to do with your George Soros money, all of you? You going to buy something new with that?
I fucking love this guy, man. I fucking love this guy. Just destroy the bad faith critics and the frauds and the charlatans and the assholes and the liars. Just no holds barred, bro. Take no fucking prisoners. Go for their throat. And look, I genuinely didn't know if Tim Walz had that in him. When he had that poor debate performance, it was like, I don't know, does this guy not have the killer instinct? But it turns out he just might not be great at debating, but he's great at fucking interviews. He's great at fucking stump speeches. He's great at framing. He's saying all the right things. And again, it's glorious. So keep going, Tim. We'd love to get Tim Walz on Crystal Kyle and Friends. Honestly, I don't have a connection to him, so I don't know exactly how to reach out, but we'd love to have him on because he's doing a lot of things exactly right. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.